I just came across the greatest joke ever written. At least that is what is said in that video. And the end, I was not expecting it, but it was kind of funny. So I wanted to share it with you. So if you're feeling sad, this will make you laugh.
This is the greatest joke
Okay, this is
ever
the
written
video.
by Norm Macdonald.
No,
A man is moving
McDonald.
into a neighborhood and being greeted by his neighbor. The neighbor says, "Welcome to the neighborhood. What brings you here?" The man says, "I'm the new professor of logic over at the university." The man says, "Oh, logic, huh? What does that mean?" The man says, "Basically, it means I can extrapolate a lot of information about a system by only knowing a few key points of information." The neighbor didn't understand. So the man says, "Let me give you an example." And he asks him, "Do you own a lawnmower?" And the neighbor says, "Yes." And he goes, "Well, if you own a lawnmower, then I can assume you have a lawn. If you have a lawn, then you probably have a house. And if you have a house, you probably have a wife. And if you have a wife, you're probably straight. All of this was extrapolated by just getting one piece of information about you. That's deduction. That's logic." The neighbor says, "Oh, that's cool." Later that day, the neighbor goes to a bar to meet with a friend. The friend says, "Hey man, how you doing?" And the neighbor says, "Good, I just met my new neighbor who's the professor of logic over at the university." And his friend at the bar says, "Logic, well, what does that mean?" Basically, it means you can get a bunch of information about you by just knowing a couple of things. The friend doesn't really understand. He says, I don't get it. The neighbor says, "Well, let me give you the same example he gave me." And he asks his friend, "Do you own a lawnmower?" His friend says, "No." And the neighbor says, "Well, that means you're fucking gay." This is the greatest joke.